As we head into the final weeks of 2024, I will be the first to admit it really hasn't been the best of years when it comes to cinema, with barely a handful of films that truly stood out from the dreck that studios present each year. So, when I was given a chance to see a preview screening of Robert Eggers' Nosferatu, a film with a lot of critical buzz, I wasn't that excited. I mean, we've all seen studio hype before. And critics, what do they know? Right? So, what did I think? Germany, 1838, and in the small town of Wiesberg, real estate agent Thomas Hutter, played by Nicholas Hoult, a man desperate to secure his place in the world for himself and his frail wife Ellen, played by Lily Rose Depp, travels to Transylvania to meet the mysterious client, Count Orlok, played by Bill Skarsgård. But Orlok will only bring death and misfortune to all who cross his path, and only Ellen can stop him. When Robert Eggers, director of The Witch and The Northman, announced his next project was a remake of the silent classic Nosferatu, I have to admit, I had my doubts. Eggers' previous movies, although visually astonishing, revealing his background in theatre design and direction, have often left me cold. And we are talking about F.W. Murnau's Nosferatu, a silent classic that today is rightly considered to be the template for the horror films that followed. Its legend not only inspiring generations of filmmakers, but has been the subject of critically acclaimed remakes and even the inspiration for fictionalized accounts of its making.
Come on, Count Dracula wouldn't say he couldn't remember.
I read that book. Murnau gave it to me.
Well, now, this is a golden opportunity. Speaking as a vampire, what do you make of the book's technical merits?
It made me sad.
But from the opening, where we see Lily Rose Depp appear on screen, rising from the darkness as if from a lake, her skin as grey, as sallow as a statue's, as she prays for protection from an unseen evil, you realise that you are about to watch a future masterpiece of not only horror, but of cinema itself. This is the film Eggers has been building to. From the production design to the cinematography of Jaron Blaski, Eggers' vision of 19th century Germany is astonishing, as Hoult hurries through the bustling streets of Wiesberg that will soon know terror and death. Each frame of the film reeking of Dickensian squalor and beauty, with interiors illuminated by dust-filled light. The warm colours of life during the day and the light provided by oil lamps, blazing fires and the candles on Christmas trees, because this is a film set at Christmas, is in stark contrast to the blacks and greys of the night and the world Orlok stalks. One moment in particular that stands out is a tavern Thomas enters, a place of deep shadows and smoke lit only by the fires in the hearth, reminiscent of Kubrick's Barry Lyndon. And while the screenplay is a mostly faithful adaptation of the original movie, Eggers infuses it with a sense of doom and horror, both atmospheric and visceral, in every frame. A film where the simple act of a signature on a contract is filled with dread, where Orlok's journey by schooner to the town of Wiesberg is sometimes less gothic horror and more reminiscent of the terror you felt the first time you watched Alien.
Nosferatu.
All accompanied by an accomplished soundtrack by Robin Carolyn. It is hard to believe this is only his second score. Just as the original Nosferatu was an unofficial adaptation of Dracula, Eggers seems to draw inspiration from Stoker's novel. From the packs of wolves that stalk Thomas on his journey to Orlok's castle, to Orlok himself, which, in the one radical move away from Max Schreck's iconic monster, seems more reminiscent in look to the aged Count we first met in the novel, a mustachioed man dressed in what appears to be the rotting uniform of a hussar, covering his soured flesh. While Orlok's presence, even when he is not on screen, hangs over every frame. If there is a problem, one might say that Eggers' plot plays at large, broad in tone, but unlike, say, Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula, which also attempted to play at large, but in that case it fell off a cliff and became ridiculous in its hamminess.
I bring you from shadow into light. I cast you out, the Prince of Darkness, into hell.
Eggers deftly navigates the pitfalls and delivers a screenplay that plays like a Shakespearean tragedy. That the screenplay succeeds is down to the strength of Eggers' cast choices. Nicholas Hoult proves again he is leading man material, the perfect conduit for the audience as he watches the horror unfold before him.
Standing before me, all in black, was death. But I was so happy.
Lily Rose Depp is astonishing as Emma. A woman tortured by her past, Depp goes from gentle housewife to demon-possessed madwoman and all it entails in between in a single scene. That she does so without missing a beat is a testament to her performance. Sadly, the late release date of Nosferatu means her performance may be unfairly skipped over in the coming awards season. Eggers' regular William Dafoe hams it up just the right amount as von Franz, the Swiss doctor who realises just what is really going on, while Aaron Taylor-Johnson shows after the disastrous Craven that he is an actor of presence, playing Harding, the embodiment of logic in the 19th century, a logic that will collapse in the face of evil. I have to give special mention to Simon McBurney, who plays Hernock. In the original Nosferatu, the character is simply Orlok's vassal. But here, McBurney has turned Nock into a hard-to-forget chicken and rat-eating madman whose mouth and lips constantly run red with blood. As for Orlok, Bill Skarsgård once again shows just how powerful an actor he truly is. If you told me this was the same man who played Pennywise the Clown and the Crow, I don't think I'd have believed you. That's how much he throws himself into the role. Skarsgård disappears into the role of Orlok, unrecognisable under the prosthetics, his flesh rotting with a voice that drips blood, and a true monster when he feeds. The eroticism that lies at the base of so many vampire stories is quickly forgotten as we witness his maggot-riddled flesh. Watching this, one gets a sensation of what it must have been like for audiences who first saw the original in 1922, and a far cry from the sparkling vampires or tragic romantic characters we see so often these days. The makers of Salem's Lot should really watch this and realise, oh, so that's how you make a vampire movie.
Order. Order. Order.
It was about this time last year I saw Godzilla -1 and realised I was watching a classic. Well, I'm happy to say, after a poor year, it's happened again. Nosferatu may not be to everyone's taste, but for me, it's a true classic that does something that a remake almost never does. Honours the original, while saying something original itself. Nosferatu opens in the United States on Christmas Day, and here in Ireland and over in the UK on January the 1st. This is my film of the year, and I'm going to give it my top rating. I'm going to pay good money to see this again. Go watch it.
Please, sir, I want some more. More? All right, stop it. Stop it right there. Go on, fill up the bowl.
And if you like this episode of So What Did I Think and want to see more, please click like and subscribe. Remember, always subscribe. Thanks for watching.